Hi everybody, I'm Matheus Mantovani. I played 2 years at Eastern Oklahoma, 2 years at Oklahoma Christian. Right now I'm coaching OEFC and Classen SAS, and this is another episode of Matheus Futbol podcast.
Perfect. Yo, welcome back to the Matheus Futbol podcast, the number one soccer podcast in Oklahoma City. I'm your host, Ricardo Ulloa, and with me, I'm at Legacy Real Estate Group. They're the sponsors. You know what they do. If you are looking to buy a house, sell a house, invest in a house, these are the people to go to. I recommend my aunt and my uncle and my other aunt. They're all working here, and I kid you not, they make the process pretty seamless. I know I might be using them here pretty soon, but Legacy Real Estate Group, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to record here. I do have a guest with me today. This guy played at Oklahoma Christian. He has a couple of championships at Western. You might have seen him or have gotten scored on him by him. My friend here, Matheus. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. It's getting really, really hot in here.
Yes, really.
Like I'm sweating. I think it's as the sun goes up back here, it's just going to get a little hot. So if you need to, we can open the door. But
I'm good.
I appreciate you for coming on, my friend.
Appreciate it.
I know I asked you a couple weeks ago, and like I said, I've been pretty bad about keeping up with the podcast, but I have you here now. So how are you today?
I'm doing good. Just happy to be here and talk a little bit about my life and about my experience here in Oklahoma.
Nice. Well, for the people that don't know you, can you introduce yourself and to everybody else?
Yes. My name is Matheus Mantovani. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, born and raised there. Moved here to the States when I was 17 to play soccer in school and study. Graduated in 2019, and then since then I've been coaching OEFC and coaching Classen SAS for high school.
Nice.
On the boys' side.
Let me hit the round of applause again for you, dude.
Thank you.
You graduated and you're coaching. That's good. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You're coaching at OEFC?
Yeah, OEFC, the girls. I coach for the 2012s, so 10 years old for the girls. And nice. I also help Joey Garcia with the 2006 girls.
Only girls?
On the club, yes. Mm-hmm. High school is with the boys.
Is it different coaching girls and boys?
A little bit, yes. I tell this to people. I think like younger, I prefer to coach girls, but older, I prefer to go with boys.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think whenever the boys are younger, there's a bunch of other things way more important than what I'm saying to them on the field, you know. And with the girls, I can get more their attention. I think I'm more effective of a coach, you know. I with young boys, I don't have the kind of touching, like, hey, pay attention to me, you know. And with the older boys, that whenever they start realizing, oh, soccer is fun, sports fun, like he's here to help me. So that's when I can actually do the best that I can. But with the girls, it's just, they're more the black and white that we say, like they're, oh, you want me to do this? Okay, I'm going to do this. You know? Yeah,
for boys, they're a little bit harder. You kind of, I don't know. I have coached, but I haven't gotten that deep into it to know the differences like that. Yeah. So only 2 teams then?
Actually 3. So it's I coach the black team, red team, and then I help with the gold team, and then the 2006, the older girls as well.
So you like it at OEFC?
Yes. It's a good club. Like I like it for, you know, being in the United States, that soccer is now the main sport in Oklahoma. Like it's not one of the biggest states here. To have a club like that, with the amount of kids that they have, I think it's a very good club for the community. You know,
that's one thing I wanted to touch on with you is the cultural differences of how it is for the kids that you train to how it was for you when you played, and then eventually through there you can get into how you came over here. But how was the football for you in Brazil?
It's I tell this to people. It's just the culture. Like if you're born in Brazil, you're gonna play soccer. There's no way around. Like or you're gonna play with your friends in the street, or your dad is gonna put you in a club to play when you're young. But the main thing it is, and I tell this to people. I even told to her a couple of times. here there's a lot of kids playing soccer. In Brazil, it's soccer players.
Yeah.
That soccer mentality. It's not just being good with the feet. It's also the brains, like understanding the game in a such young age. And if you go to a party in Brazil, all the kids are going to grab a little can, it's going to smash it, put on the ground, let's play.
That's how you played?
Yeah. I played a lot with my cousins, all the time. Like I would break my shoes because of being kicking cans, kicking rocks, all of that. And here, even if you give a soccer ball to a kid, there's the chance that kid's going to get the ball and bounce with the hand, try to put in a basket or something, you know. And in Brazil, that would never happen.
Nah,
you know?
I think there's a lot more distractions here.
Yeah, it's too many options. It's not a bad thing, but it's too many options. It's playing A, playing B. Oh, you're not good at soccer? Oh, let's try baseball right there. Oh, you're not good at baseball? Oh, let's try football. Or let's try basketball. You know, like it's just... in Brazil, it's like, no, soccer.
Yeah.
You just need to get better. You just need to like more, you know?
Yeah, I have a kid, and I tried to get them to play soccer, and when my son told me he didn't like it, I was just like, okay, we'll stop. We'll go play something else. But I want him to play a sport. I don't really care if it's soccer, baseball, football, not football. But, you know, I would love for him to play soccer. What's the earliest memory for you with soccer?
Oh, 2002 World Cup.
2002?
2002
like
World
Korea,
Cup. Yeah. My brother gives him a hard time because whenever I say that, he's like, you're too young. You don't remember anything. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to remember every single detail. But one of the things that I loved about the World Cup was my first World Cup that I have a memory. And I remember that we would go watch games in the garage.
Yes.
And then a goal would happen. Everybody runs to the street, like neighbors, everybody together, hugging each other. Hey.
Like I'm getting goosebumps just hearing it.
Yeah, it's like one of the best things in my life. And then what's so funny because was go, oh, let's celebrate. And then like 15 seconds later, oh, let's get back and watch the game. And then everybody goes to your own houses to watch again the game. And then go again, oh, everybody in the street. Like,
there's nothing like when everybody is watching the same thing and everybody is invested in that same thing, and then everybody celebrates, everybody cries, and that's definitely, I think World Cup are one of the best moments for me. And then as a kid when you're watching the World Cup too, because you're not working, you don't have a job, you don't have to go to school, so you're literally watching 4 to 5 to 6 different games every single day. And then you guys ended up winning the World Cup. What did you guys do when they won the World Cup? Where were you when they won the World Cup?
Oh, I was like I said, the garage, and then after we won, we just did a huge barbecue at my house, because my house, thank God, my dad was very fortunate to have like kind of one of the best houses in the neighborhood, and after we won, he just invited everybody.
It's a block party.
Yeah, let's make a barbecue here, and like let's celebrate, and then it was just a big party.
Well, since we're talking about the World Cup, how do you feel about the World Cup coming now? Because I think everybody says Brazil is the favorite.
Honestly, I feel that with the players that we have, like especially up top, they're very, very little. And for the way that the World Cup is, like it's a cup. So
it's a tournament.
Yeah, you play a little bit like the group stage, but then it's playoffs. It's that one game.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel with the players that we have a good team to play that one game. You know, but to be honest, I wouldn't put my money on Brazil.
No.
I'm going to support. I'm going to cry if we lose. I'm going to be happy if we win, but I wouldn't put money on it.
Who would you put your money on?
I think it's France again.
You think so? You don't think there's a curse for the World Cup winners? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out, because whenever Brazil won in 2002, we went to 2006 and we made it to the playoffs. So that little curse is kind of...
Not for the Brazilians, but it is for the French, for the Italians, and for the Spanish and everybody else.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because Brazil looks stacked, dude.
Yeah, let's see if they can put it there. Because individually, player by player, it's
They're
like
one of the best.
Yeah, it's like top 5 in each position, easily in each position that we have. But we need to see if the chemistry is going to be...
From a Brazilian's point of view, you guys are going to have to leave some stars out.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you leave out? Because I had seen recently when they called up all the players for these friendlies, they did not call any Arsenal players.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
So what's up with that? Like, who would you call? It's impossible to get everything.
I don't know. One thing that I believe for any national team, it's a moment, because you also need to understand that maybe that guy was good a year ago. A year ago he was the guy, but right now, because the competition is happening right now, so you need to have the best right now.
In the moment.
You know, and I feel that even he left some off that list that they're playing Brazil now. You know, that some people don't know. But for me, it's the moment. I think leaving Gabriel Jesus out now, I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, maybe he will call him out.
Yeah, hopefully, because
he's killing it.
Yeah, because and you can see that he's enjoying playing Arsenal. Yeah. You can see that in his face whenever he plays, whenever he scores, that he's getting back to the happy playing. You know, enjoying what you're doing. You know,
I think Arsenal fits him well.
Yeah,
it fits him well. Coming from Manchester City, and man, he's done some crazy things like that. I forgot what goal it was where the ball is coming down, drops it, still has the strength to hold the body out, then still runs it. And I think that's I don't know if he scored it or gave an assist, but that guy's crazy.
Yeah. Do you know that I played against him?
Really? That's one of the questions I was going to ask you, because who did I have? Who was the last Brazilian that I had on? I had another Brazilian on, and he had told me that he got to play against the center back for PSG, Marquinhos. He played against Marquinhos.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know who it was. I can't believe it's slipping my mind.
Alex
Bampa. Yeah, I had Bampa on. Sorry, Bampa.
Yeah, Bampa, yeah.
You played against Gabriel Jesus?
I played against Gabriel Jesus, and you might not remember him, but Gabriel Barbosa.
Okay.
He's playing for Flamengo now, but he went to play for Inter and Benfica for a little while. So I played against those two guys.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
When? How?
So my last year in Brazil, my senior year in high school, I was playing the under-17 the state tournament, and Gabriel Jesus was playing for Palmeiras, and they were in our group.
Who were you playing with?
A small team, like it was called Suzano, but very, very small. And man, first game, I saw that guy playing looking like me,
nothing, small,
skinny. I was like, oh, okay, they're good. They're good with their feet, but So man, first tackle that I went to go to him, man, it looked like that I was hitting a wall.
Really,
man, it was just crazy, the science of the body that those big clubs use, in the academies, it's a huge difference, And with Gabriel Jesus, you could tell right there. What are you doing here? Go to the professionals, man. Why are you wasting your time here with us? Why didn't you call you up yet for the professionals, And he played for 6 months on that age, got up, won the national title with Palmeiras, and then City.
Where do these players come from? How does someone find someone like that, and then 6 months later just say, hey, dude, you got to get out of here because you're too good? What's up with that?
It's the kind of the mentality that they put for the Brazilians, that is, you're gonna be here in Brazil, let's make your name, and then you get out, and then you go do what you need to do, instead of maybe teaching them hey, hold a little bit more, you build something here, let's make it not just put your name out there, make you win one title or other, but make something here, then you leave. I think I know there was a lot of merchan, a lot of business involved, but the way that Neymar held off, because he was supposed to leave it to Madrid first. Remember?
And then
he waited. I like that, because he waited. He won a couple more titles. He made his name a little bit more, and it was that kind of love. It wasn't just he's just another guy that played good here, is gonna leave. He did something for Santos, right there.
You were in Brazil when Neymar was in Brazil, weren't you? So it must have been crazy. It was just Neymar fever, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, man. What a Neymar fever for real. I even did the moonwalk.
You had that?
Yeah, I had it for a little while. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get to jump from Brazil straight to a Big Six team, though.
Yeah.
I watched a YouTube video, and they were talking about Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Not very many people get to go straight into a big team, and if they do, not very of them become successful.
Yes.
Neymar was another one. But that's a very, very, very good point that they should have stayed. But for a lot of people, I know some people in Mexico that try to go pro. For them, it's their way out. Like, it's their way to make a living. So they're a lot hungrier than regular players are. And I know that makes a ton of a difference.
No, yeah. And I tell people, like, a lot of people come to me and say, like, oh, do you really think that you could have been a professional in Brazil if you actually, like, try and everything? I was like, with the mentality that I had at the moment, no.
Mentality.
Yeah. Right now, if I were to go back right now, yes, I think, because one thing that I never made it was sacrifices. You know, like, if I had a party to go, I would go to the party. If staying late, just silly things, just staying late playing video games instead of, like, getting the full 8 hours of sleep or things like that, I would go play the video game. You know, like, if I would have a Sunday league game instead of resting for the actual important game. I would go and have fun and play the Sunday league game, like, you know. So I didn't make the sacrifices that those kids that you mentioned that they are more hungry, they were making, because it's their way out. And at the moment, I was too comfortable for that, you know. So it was my own fault. Like, I tell this to a lot of people. Like, I can blame coaches, I can blame, like, agents and everything, but at the end of the day, it was my fault. It's my own fault, you know. Like, I could have done so many things differently, you know. But I think things happen for a reason, and I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah, because now you're in the middle of America.
Yeah, I know, living the dream, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me about little Matheus. Like, did you want to be pro? When did you know you wanted to be pro? When did you take soccer serious? Like, how was that?
So my dad put me into a little academy to
Did your dad
play
play?
soccer. Nah, his cousins, they played professional.
Okay.
His cousins, they were kind of a big deal for the family. And whenever I start playing, and then they start saying, like, oh, he's actually good, huh? Like, he can play.
He might have something,
Yeah,
huh?
he can play. And then, like, I kind of start becoming like, oh, is he going to be our next one? Is he going to be our next one?
No pressure. Okay.
Yeah, no pressure. But, like, is he going to be in the next one? Is he going to be the next one? And I was like, and so, like, I start playing with 4 years old. And then by the time I was 7, I was already playing competitive futsal. And I was already playing 11 versus 11. That's one thing that's different from Brazil than here. That you guys have the system of 4 versus 4, 7 versus 7, 9 versus 9.
All outdoor.
Yeah, and 11 versus 11. So in Brazil, you have futsal, which is 5 versus 5. And if you're going to play outdoor, it doesn't matter if you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. It's 11 versus 11 from the beginning. So I was already playing 11 versus 11 when I was 7 years old. So at that moment, I was already, I want to be a professional soccer player. That's what I want to do for my life. And that's why I coach now too, because I was in college doing business, and I was thinking with me, like, yeah, I think I should be doing business because I'm bilingual, you know. I speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
Now I speak in English, and then I can learn a little bit more of Spanish, you know, on the way, you know. I think business would be perfect for me. But then the years start going by, I was like, man, I'm not. I don't see myself in a suit. I don't see myself behind the office. Like, my things on the field. That's where it brings me alive, you know. And so, like, from there, when I was a little kid, I was already, I'm gonna be professional. But then start growing up, and then teenage phase, parties. Like I said,
You lost your
girls.
motivation a little bit.
I wouldn't say motivation, because every time that I would go to practice, every time I would go to game.
You're still running through the motions, but you didn't have the hunger, the sacrifices.
Exactly.
So you probably got to where? At what point did you just say, I gotta figure something out?
I was 16. Like, I was 16, and I was playing kind of the second tier of the tournament, because in Brazil they do like under 11, under 13. Under 15, under 17. So, like, whenever it's that number, so like 10, 12, you play like kind of the ECRL.
That's not like it is here where it's
10s,
every
age.
11s, 12. There it's 10, 12, 14, 16.
Yeah,
okay.
they skip. So, like, it's kind of, they call like the good age and the bad age. You know, like, oh, what year are you? I'm 97. Oh, so you're in the bad age now, right? Because maybe
a little bit older.
Yeah, you know, I'm playing with the older guys for the top tier tournament, you know.
And
And
that sucks. It's like the older you get, the less valuable you are because of your potential isn't as high anymore. Okay.
yeah, and also everybody started getting to the same like physicality, same everything. So like it starts thing, and it's like I'll tell you, I didn't make the sacrifice because I was comfortable the way that I was playing. Because let's say like this, I had a car that was going 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
But that car had a potential to go 150. But I was happy with that 100, you know, and that's what it was with me, you know, like because I was motivated to go to practice, but I wasn't motivated to do the extra.
What takes you above and beyond?
Yeah, to be outside the practice, you know, that 1 hour and a half with the team, yeah, I would do perfectly. I would be
the best.
Yeah, fitness, yeah, I'm there. I'm the first one, blah, blah, blah. But outside of there, on my own time, I never did the extra things, you know.
Yeah, you were skating by doing, I don't want to say the bare minimum, because you were, it sounds like you were, you know, there. You did what you had to do, and that was your job. It's kind of like what they say, what's that new thing when you quiet quit? You were kind of quiet quitting when you don't do more than what you're supposed to. You're just kind of skating by. And then when did the opportunity come for you to go to the U.S.? Or like, when did that option come? Who implemented that thought? Did you know somebody that went?
So my brother, he was already here whenever I was 16, 17 years old. And whenever we would talk through Messenger, like would I already be like those questions that he would ask me, like, so hey, any thoughts about coming here? Like, what's your plans? Like, do you have a team? Have you signed or something to play, you know? And I was in that phase that was just like, yeah, no, just kind of going to little clubs. Did
you know that you wanted to come? Or was that something in the back of your head that you were just like,
in
case it doesn't work out, I could always have that option?
Yeah, it was more, in case I don't do anything professionally here, I have there. But whenever I was 17, after I played against Gabriel Jesus, and then it was kind of a reality shock because we got, man, like it was a smack.
Thumped. Yeah.
What was a smack? Like was a smack and a half whenever we played against Palmeiras. And I was like, yeah, man, Brazil is not for me anymore. At least not soccer. I was like, at least not soccer. Yeah. If it was supposed to happen, I already know by now, you know, and not knowing, like, still waiting on, I need to chase for a team here. So, like, whenever he finished that tournament of that season, I called my brother and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's make this happen. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm going to go there, play. Who knows what happens? But if nothing happens, I have a degree. I can start looking for a job, start having my life, you know.
Got an experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So my brother helped me through the whole process. Like the reason that I'm here, like in the US, it's 100% my brother.
Who helped your brother?
So here's the thing. My brother was his mom, but his mom helping from Brazil, you know. But here by himself, you know. So he made my path like so easy, you know. Like he did the hard things to be easy for me. Like it kind of looked like, you know, because it kind of whenever I came here, there's one day that kind of like a little party, you know, got a little emotional, both of us, you know. And then
because you had seen your brother, so it's like
because whenever my brother came here was 2006. So 2006 I was 8 years old. So for 10 years, like I would see him
through a screen
once a year maybe if he would come visit. But there was times that he wouldn't come because, you know, summer here you can make some money. So he would stay the summer, he wouldn't go back. Christmas, sometimes he didn't have the money. So through 10 years, like, was just once in a while, and then out of nowhere, we're living together.
You're living together?
Yeah, we lived together. We lived together for 4 months, like just me and him. Like, yeah, going through the week to the routines was a very nice experience. Like, I'm very glad that I had to do that with him. It's kind of a little catch up from the years, you know.
And then he's giving you pointers too, what to look out for. Look, the season's in the fall. Let's get you ready.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, he was taking care of my physicality too, because I came a little kind of light. Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you're gonna have to put some pounds here."
Yeah, because you play against the Americans, and they're just like, but they might not have the touch, but they're just Yeah.
No, and plus, I was a 17-year-old kid. Like I started college with 17.
Oh, okay. That's
And
young.
yeah, so I would go and play against a 21-year-old guy, a
25-year-olds
yeah,
that come from Brazil too.
yeah, and especially in junior college, because whenever I came first to junior college, I was going to play with some like guys that was almost 30 years old, because there's kind of not too much restrictions for the junior colleges, and he was like, yeah, man, you're gonna have to put some
weight on
some weight on you, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but there is this time that we got a little emotional, and I was like, man, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for me. Thank you for bringing me here, taking care of me, like you kind of being my dad here in the U.S. And then he turned to me and said, like, look, honestly, I get it that you are thanking me and everything, but the one who needs to thank somebody here, it's me, for you to come here, because I was like lonely here, you know, like I was kind of losing a little bit myself, you know, because he came here by himself, trying to survive, trying to be a winner, like in a country that it's not his, basically, you know, like, and
not his language, not his culture.
Exactly, you know, and it doesn't matter that he was already there for 10 years, like you could tell that he was a little bit fatigued too, you know, that, everything by myself, I don't have kind of anybody to kind of rely on it, so that was kind of very emotional for me, like for him to come to me and say thanks to me, like for coming here, and like
you must have been like, whoa, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like you're thanking me for this? Like I was like, that something wrong here, huh? No, he was like, no, man. Like
it's like, no, I think he needed you more than you needed him.
Yeah, like it was that kind of thing, and I'm glad that I could come here, you know, because we needed that bondage to, you know, to be together again, that brother time, and also I think like he was happy like to see me kind of follow his path, coming here.
Because last time he saw you, you were 8. Now you're just a.
Exactly.
I was gonna say a grown man, but he had to put some weight on you. But no, basically, you're a grown kid.
Yeah, exactly. Like a completely different mind. Like he wasn't there like to hear me talk about girls. He wasn't there to talk to me about whatever's going on in school, or even to practice a little bit with me for my games, or to go watch me play, you know. So was kind of nice, and
that's awesome. And then he was probably able to, you know, teach you from the mistakes that he had made and whatnot. I have a little brother, so I kind of can relate. And whenever he went on to go play college, he ended up going to NOC. And then I would give him some tips. I'd be like, look, man, do this, do that. He ended up leaving NOC and went to go play at Mid-America. And I was able to be like, look, man, like, don't take these classes because these don't transfer. It's just the little things that people don't tell you. And I didn't have anybody because my parents didn't play college. But just having somebody there is just so helpful. Just to even drop your Christian classes. Trust me. I have to take them. Take them for 2 weeks and then drop them when they're free. And then you get the money back. And it's just those little things are just things that nobody tells you. Like,
those little advice that is kind of obvious, but until you say out loud. Whenever you say out loud, that you're kind of like, oh my God, like, that makes sense. Yeah. But like, what's so obvious, like such a simple thing, but like whenever it's said out loud, like you kind of, oh my God, like, thank you, you know, like I knew that, but I needed somebody to remind me that, you know, like to kind of put him in the way. Because one of the things that he told me about the classes was like, you need to start saving some money in case you need to take a extra semester. Because he told me, look, let me tell you, like, since you want to do business, it's going to be accounting 1, accounting 2. You know, those classes are hard. And he was like, be ready to maybe retake a classes. So like every time that you can take maybe one summer class, one winter class, do it. Yeah, because you might need it. So we don't pay like an extra tuition for an extra semester, you know. Nice.
So how did Eastern? Why did you end up there? Or was it just all because of your brother?
So whenever I was living with him in Tulsa, and I stayed there for 4 months, and there I was doing an English of course, close to RU. It's called ULI, and it was very nice. It's a very good course for like internationals that come here. And in the meanwhile, we would go do little tryouts. So I went to Eastern, I went to Rose, I went to NOC, and I went to NEO. And it was just basically whoever gives more at that point, you know, like because the currency US to Brazil, it's a big gap. So whoever was giving more, yeah, okay, I'm going to this one. And Eastern at the moment make kind of the best offer, and I sign up. And another thing that helped was there was one Brazilian that he was already at Eastern that I knew him from Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, and whenever I saw him there, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that you're here.
Yeah, isn't
like,
that crazy?
Yeah, and we started talking, catching up, and then it kind of made it easy too, to kind of be at Eastern, and to make it even better, or a little bit worse too, because my English didn't get better for a while, because there was me, him, and another 6 Brazilians.
Yeah, so you didn't have to speak English.
Yeah, because some of them, their English were already pretty good. So whenever we were together and like we needed to speak English or something like that, they would just
speak for you.
Yeah, that kind of thing, So I was just, But it started getting better my English in my sophomore year.
Okay, how was your time at Eastern? I had seen that you won a few awards at Eastern.
Yeah, my freshman year we had a very good team, but coaching-wise, let's say I didn't agree too much with, because our practice was just basically running, and at that time, the freshman class was better than the sophomore class. But he was the kind of coach that, no, I'm going to put the sophomores to play because they are the ones transferring. They are the ones.
They needed a little bit more.
Yeah, they needed that PT to put on a DVD and try to find, like new places. And that kind of bummed me out a little bit because, like, it's tough, like, for you to be on the bench and you see, like, I'm better than that guy, like, it's just not even about, like, being a little cocky. It's just, like, your capabilities, what you're capable of, and just... kind of warming the bench, But was good. Like, was fun to play. It was a good first experience, like, of the United States, But my sophomore year was very, very good, like, soccer-wise. Trevor Harmon is new, the coach is new. So he was, I was his first team as a head coach.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his first job as a head coach, was at Eastern my sophomore year. And man, if you that's one guy that you need to bring in here too. Yes.
Okay.
Soccer brains, man.
And he's at SMU now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's I'll tell you, like, look, I'm from Brazil, but probably the best coach I ever had.
Really?
I'm an American guy.
Okay.
It's crazy.
What was different about his culture of coaching compared to the others?
Was more that he had the knowledge, he knew what needed to be done. And for me, that was already that's what I want from a coach. It's not that he's good because of the players that he has. He's good with the limitations that those players have. He knew how to find what you're best at. Okay, let's focus on that. And he made it that with everybody because he came when the coach that was before got fired. So, but he got fired in June. So he didn't have much time.
A good time to prepare for the fall season.
Exactly. So we had 19 players for the whole season. It was 15 sophomores, which was the 15 freshmen from the past, and 4 or 5 new freshmen that he could find a way to bring it, And we have a saying in Brazil that he took milk out of rock. Because with that team, the way that we had it, with the way that we came to the season, kind of we don't know this new coach, we don't even have players, we're not gonna even be able to scrimmage at practice, that kind of thing. And he did something amazing. We didn't end up making places, but if you talk to anybody about that season, they're gonna tell oh no, yeah, that team they did something.
He pulled milk from the rock.
In
other words, he made with what he had.
Exactly. And another thing was his passion. You could tell that every time he would yell at us, he would make a correction to us. You could feel it. You could feel it in his voice, oh my God,
damn.
He wants to win. Now I want to win too. He transferred that energy to you. He makes you stay on your tiptoes the whole time, staying focused on the game. Let's win this. Let's make it happen. And for me, that's what I love the most. Was for him, it was beyond the knowledge. You know, it was just he was something else. And another thing that it kind of respect me for him is that was his first job.
Really?
As
As a head coach for a college or?
For a college,
yes. He has to have been coaching, but really? Huh.
Yeah, because he was helping at Rose State, but as an assistant. And then he went to Eastern as a first head coach job, like for college. And like that kind of gives me more respect for him. You know,
and now he's at SNU, huh?
Yeah, now he's at, it took him 1 season to find a better job. Yeah. Because it was just too good. He's good.
So how does that impact you as a coach? Like how do you do that? Like, we'll come back to your college season, but now that we're talking about coaches, like as a coach for you, like how do you do that? Or what do you do?
I try to get a little bit of all the coaches that I had through my life, and he's one of them. He's definitely one of them that I try to mirror a little bit that knowledge, that passion, try to transmit to the players, like the urgency of things, you know, because I feel like every single information you need to find a way to deliver. You know, sometimes like you need to take the ball out of the box. I'm not gonna go and tell the person, hey, can you please kick the ball out of the box? No, you're gonna go, my man, let's go. Hey, kick the ball. You know, like that kind of that urgency. And like that's what I kind of try to tell them. Like each situation, I'm kind of a little different. Sometimes I'm kind of like a big dad, you know, but sometimes I'm kind of, hey man, like get together.
Or each person is a little different. So for me, you might have to be like, hey Ricardo, you know, you're doing great, you know, but maybe you should pass it out. Whereas if you're Tiago and Matheus, you're just like, yo, get that shit out of here, man. Exactly. So you gotta be able to know how to speak to your players.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try, because I'm from a family of therapists.
Therapists.
Yeah, okay. So my mom, she's a therapist. My sister is a therapist. So I grew up with that kind of...
Like psychology?
Yeah, psychology. Okay. Yeah, so I grew up with that kind of talking. Let's talk. And I try to find that on the kids too, and on the players. Like I try to see like, okay, how should I talk to this person? How should I talk to this one? But on our overall as a team, sometimes, you can even ask some people. Sometimes I go crazy. Yeah,
I mean, but sometimes the players have to bend to how the coach is too, you know. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so. It's a give and take, you know. Like let's meet halfway. It's like it's like a relationship with your wife, with your girlfriend, and you know, like it needs to have like a little bit of like you know, let's meet in the middle. You know, like I'm not gonna be that much of like a you know, a crazy guy to you, but like you also need to understand that whenever I go off, it's because, like I said, it was because of the situation. Like it's the urgency. Like don't focus too much in how loud I'm being, focus on what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I try to tell every new team that I get, every new season. I always go to them and say like, hey, just letting you guys know.
I'm a yeller.
Yeah. Something, look, one day something's going to happen and I'm going to go off. Don't pay attention to how loud I am. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Because sometimes I'm going crazy. It's because, it's that passion. Like, because I'm not going to transfer that passion that I have, like speaking nicely. Because I don't think that it
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Like, because there's no growth being comfortable. You know, like I was telling before, like whenever I was young, like I was too comfortable. And there's some kids that I see playing that I don't want them doing the same mistake that I did, because it's something that they can control. It's not something out of their hands. It's just like, understand this, like have this passion, you know, like let's make this happen. And like, you know, it's not even about being good or bad. It's just like how much you want it. Are you willing to eat the grass? Are you willing to slide that with your head if you have to? You know, like that type of thing.
We call it hunger.
Yeah, hunger. Yeah, being hungry. That's what I go over and over. So I try to preach. You know, like because I tell them like, look, the technical things, the touch, the skills,
you can learn
that's gonna come along the way. But that passion, that mentality, the hunger, like you need to find inside of you, you know, and like that's what I try to transmit it to them. And like even in an early age, even with the little girls that I coach, sometimes I lose a little bit, you know, and like and they see it, like, because it's like, oh, he's just, you know, trying to show us like, hey, we need to do better. We need to do better, you know?
And it transmits. Like having a coach like that on the sidelines, yelling at the ref, defending you for a bad call, gives them energy. Because if you're just sitting there and no, you need to be on the touchline like a Grandiola, like a Arteta, making sure that you're just there on top of them. That's exhausting.
It is, yeah. There's times that it finishes the game, it looks like I played the game, you know, like, because I'm all sweat, like, you know, like red because it's screaming, you know. I need to have a lot of tea at home because, for my
you lose your voice?
Oof, sometimes, yeah. If I don't take care, if I don't, especially on the spring with the high school, which is very, very cold, if I don't get home and drink a little tea or even just a coffee, it doesn't matter that it's night, but I need something warm because it gets a little sore.
You go through it, huh?
Yeah, yes.
That's funny. That's funny. And then, well, I have a question that I thought about a while back, but I had seen a coach on Facebook make this question, and I'm curious to see how you'll answer it. Matt Levinson was asking, how do you implement soccer culture to the families of the kids that you have that don't have soccer at their house? You know, like, how do you, you know, instill that? Like, sure, they can come to practice.
Yes.
They can do the hour and a half 2 times a week and the games on the weekends. But you said it yourself. You need that at home environment. You need the touches at home. You need, you know, watching the TV. How do you implement the soccer culture for the families that just don't have it? Because I'm sure you've run into kids that, well, the kid plays, but the parents have never played, or vice versa. But how do you instill that soccer culture for those kids? Like, how do you improve it for them?
I try to like remind the kids, like the most important thing is the kids too, because if the kid doesn't want it, like it's not worth like persisting on that thing, like, because it's supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, it defeats the purpose. It defeats completely the purpose, especially with a young age. And what I try to tell them is just like, look, understand one thing. Think about your whole week. It's 7 days. Each day is 24 hours. And then you sleep for 10 hours. So you have 14 hours of your day. 14 hours of your day, I see you guys like an hour and a half. Twice. So I see you 3 hours of your week, you know. Do you really think that you're going to get good with just that 3 hours? And I try to remember that, like, look, even if you just go to your backyard to shoot the ball on the fence, just shoot it, come back to you. Shoot it, come back to you. Even if you're doing that, that's already something. If you go in your backyard and start juggling, or even grab your dad, try to play a 1v1 with your dad, you know. I try to remind them that the more that you do, the better you're going to get. Like, it's just simple. It's just a simple math. Like, that's what I tell them. It's a simple math. The more that you do, the better that you get. And, like, some of them understand, because I see some of my girls that they come to practice with me, and then the next day they are at the RB7, or they are having a personal trainer with one of my friends, or even with me, you know, and, like, they're looking to more and more. And I can see some kids that it's not the parents. I can tell that the kid is like, oh, is going to have a training today? I'm going to have practice today? Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
Those are the best kids to have.
Exactly. I love it when I'm doing some sessions and there is this little Hispanic girl, Sophia, and it's funny. Like, every time that the practice is about to be over, and then she kind of feels the motion, you know, that I'm start like slowing down the practice to like, hey, we're about to be over, you know. She goes like, how much time left in the practice? I was like, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. She was like, oh, can we practice more? I'm like, let's go talk to the parents, like 30 more minutes. Like, I think they would be cool, right? I was like, no, it's not that how it works. But like, I was like, I wish that's how it works, but like, it's not how it works. But, you know, but it gives me like, it warms my heart, you know, that, because like, it means that like, I'm doing something right, you know, because like I said before, if it's not fun, it defeats the purpose. They're not going to be interested in learning. They're not going to, and also, it's not going to stick to their head. You know, I can teach them like, oh, let's build out of the back. But if the practice wasn't fun, wasn't like, oh, this and that, like they score a goal and they're like, oh, yes, or they met somebody, or they did a nice dribble. Or even like as a team, like boom, boom, boom.
You have
boom,
to make
boom,
it fun. I've been through a lot of boring ones where they just all 11 on the field, one ball, no defenders, just switch it, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop, back, boop, 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 up top, boop. Oh, so boring.
Exactly. And then whenever they do that, it's just like they, like I said, it warms my heart that like they're enjoying like what I'm showing to them, what I'm teaching them, you know, and yeah, it's just it's very nice, like it's very rewarding at the end of the day, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, but there's a lot of personal trainers out there. Yes. What are your thoughts on personal training and then training after your practices? You probably don't mind that you have a girl that practices with you and then goes to RB7 or to everybody else.
Oh yeah.
The more soccer, the merrier.
Exactly.
But it's, I think, super important to do those personal training. But you do personal training, so what's that look like for you?
I usually tell people I'm a more of a coach for a team. I do a good job like on the personal side, but I think my strength is on with a group. You know, that's when I can get the best out of everybody. It's like having a group that I can show a big picture. Because that little skills, okay, like let's do this. I'll help you do your fundamentals, your like little things, you know, let's get a little conditioning. But like I feel that whenever I have like my biggest impact, it's
on the 11?
Yeah, with a group. Or even a group of like, if I have a group of 6 kids practicing together, I can make something happen. I can make something happen nice to them, you know, that they're gonna use in the game. It's not just, do the scissor or do the rainbow or do elastico. No.
This is the rainbow, the elastico on the field, okay?
Yeah, you know, like it's not just about like teaching that, it's all about teaching. If you get the ball on the outside of the field, what do you think you should do? You know, like, do you think you should move forward? You should get inside, you know, like whenever the person is coming at you right here, like how you should defend, like, you know, if you have a teammate on your right side, which way do you think you should be forcing that person, you know? That those kind of things that it's not about your legs, it's about right here.
That's a different thing when you can take the player and have him not think about himself, but about everything else.
Exactly.
That's one thing I struggled with as a kid, because I would only worry about where I'm at, where I'm supposed to be, and that's it. But never did I think of the back line, the mid line, the top line, our shape, switching, opening up, pressuring them. All that was just different to me because, I mean, we didn't have anybody recording our game, so it was very hard for us to now see where we're at. But now the kids have it all.
Yes, it's getting easier and easier and harder for us because the easier they get to them, like the harder it gets to us because now how can we get out of the box? You know? How can I be different than the other coach? You know, and like that's what because with the personal training, like I know there's way better guys than me, like doing those personal training and focusing on things, and I know that they are seeing them. So like. I know they're going to see them at some point. So whenever they come see me, I'm trying like, okay.
It's like they're doing the job for you.
Yeah, and also like, how can I do something different? Because I know that Rafa, you have seen him play. Like he's a very skillful guy and he knows how to talk to the kids. He knows how to do this and that. And I know that he's going to teach the girl how to beat the defender in a 1v1 situation or in a 2v1 situation. Now, what can I put it to this girl to make it better? On top of what Rafa did, or on top of Bampa did it, or on top of anybody, you know? Because they're already doing that. So how can I make something different? Like, because it's like you said, like the more soccer, the better. So it's not even about stepping on somebody's toes, but since they're already doing this, let me do something different. You know, whenever they come see me, you know, because, and also here's the thing, if I do the same things that they're doing, it's kind of going to be in the back of the mind of the parents and the kid, like a little competition. It's like, oh, Rafa is better. I'm not even going to see Matheus again. Or even, oh, Matheus is better. I'm not going to see Rafa again, you know. So like I try to make something that is going to aggregate. It's going to be, let's say, the best of both worlds, you know, that type of thing. But yeah, but like I said, like with personal trainings, I do better with like
group stages.
But
that's good. I had never heard anybody say it the way that you did. That you're just gonna add on to what they're doing because they're all really good at what they're doing. Like RB7 is great. What everybody else does, what Bampa does, what MB10 does, what anybody else does. They all have their own style. But what I'm curious is if you are to do one-on-ones with somebody, what's the first thing you would send them to do? Like for me, whenever I did my one-on-ones, the first thing that I would always love to focus on is the dribble.
Yeah.
Always. For me, I would be like, let's get some cones, and we'd spend 10, 15 minutes of just right foot, left foot. For me, that was my favorite. For you, it would be the first thing that you'd...
Yeah, it would be something like that, touches on the ball, and then like using the outside of the foot, inside of the foot, and bringing the ball, a little rolling, things that they're going to use in the game, like a little pullback, those type of things. But one thing that always got to me about the personal training, the individual, was one time Johan Cruyff, he said once, like,
I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm 6 times better than most of all those players because I can use the outside, inside, and my laces of my right foot, the outside, inside, and my laces of my left foot. So I'm 6 times better than a lot of players out there. That's and true. That kind of it stuck to my head, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. Like, if you can use the outside of your right, outside of your left, inside of your right, inside of your left, laces, man, nobody's gonna get to you. Like every time the ball comes to you, it's not even about necessarily about the dribbling, because that's one thing that I tell a lot to my kids is like, you don't have to dribble to beat the defender. Sometimes it's a little combo.
Just a fake step to the right and go left. Anything.
Yeah, anything, like that. And it's using like the outside of the foot, controlling the ball, keeping the ball to you.
I remember.
And make the ball yours.
I remember we were playing his team a couple of weeks ago, and I was pressuring Matheus on the ball. He was getting the ball, and he flicked it through the back. And everybody said, oh. And I said, that's not that big a deal. I was already going this way anyways. He just went like that, and he was like, I was like, but... touche. I give it to you. But yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. With all this that you know about personal training, private training, club training, how do you take that all into the high school game? Because it's completely different for high school.
Oh yeah, because it's also a different routine. Like with the clubs, we see the kids twice, maybe 3 times, and then the game, during the week. With high school, it's every day. Every day, it's like it's a college routine, like which also for me makes more fun. That I can actually kind of put my system of playing,
implement your culture. 100%.
Exactly, and how we're gonna win the game, how we're gonna get prepared to win the game, to be prepared. And I think it helped me a lot having the personal training side of it, because the physical training, the fitness training, that's when Sorry,
I forgot this.
No, it's all good.
Okay, perfect. That's why we got 3 cameras. We got 1, 2, and then this one is turned off. But anyways. Yeah,
but because on the fitness aspect, it's just how can I make better? Because I know what to do with the team on the field, like how to get prepared to build out of the back, to pressure their goal kick, how can we keep possession in their field, how can we keep possession in our field. But for that, because I'm the way that I like to play is very demanding. So because I like the high intensity, we lose the ball, pressure right away. Whenever we have the ball, keep it. So the fitness side, it has to be on point. Like I even make a fitness test for them. If you don't pass the fitness test, you're not playing. You need to pass it first. You can be messy. If you don't make the time, I'm sorry, you're not touching the field. And the personal training side of it helped me a lot, because it opened my mind to making some drills for that individual part. So let's do a little bit of individual, 15, 30 minutes. Now let's go to the team, And also another thing that helps me a lot with the high school, it's my assistant coach, Steven Tower. We played together at Oklahoma Christian, and now he's involved with boxing and everything. And I told him
he's the one that's doing the training. Is that Classen?
Right
yes,
now.
That's okay. I was wondering. I was like, who's doing the personal training? But I also see that he was doing boxing. Okay, I follow him on Instagram, so I know exactly who you're talking about.
So it's Steven. So he's my assistant.
Shout out to Steven.
Yeah, shout out. Yes. And he's been wonderful. Because at first he was coming just as a volunteer. Because whenever I told him, he was just like, hey man, can can I help you out? You don't have to pay me anything. You don't even have to talk to the board. Just volunteer. And like, I was like, no, yeah, for sure, man. Like, the more the merrier, you know. Like, you're offering help. I'm not gonna turn it down. And I know the player that he was. He was a fantastic player. I was like, yeah, you're gonna bring something good for us. And man, he went above and beyond. Like, especially now, I'm not even going to those practices because I know he can handle it.
Yeah, you trust him.
Yeah, it's an off-season thing. I just go there on Fridays for our little scrimmage that we play with them a little bit, and that's about it, you know. And he's been helping me a lot because personal training is his thing, you know. So it's kind of putting together, you know.
Yeah, you have a team.
Yeah, you know, like it's me taking care of this. He takes care of that.
Nice.
You know? And it's just, I think it's been a good combo so far. And even the kids, they're giving like some positive feedbacks to us. So
I love it, don't they?
Yeah.
How did the Classen job come up? Because I know Patterson and his brother had it the year before you did, didn't they?
Yeah.
How?
So I think Patterson, for some personal reasons, like he had it to.
It's a lot of time, dude.
Yeah, to kind of be to leave Classen, and in 2019, right after I finished college, I was coaching OC. I went and coached at Putnam City Original, the freshman team, and Eddie Wright was the head coach for the varsity. So he brought me in. And recently, he got promoted to.
I think he's the athletic director of the city. I met him Saturday.
Yeah. Fantastic guy.
We were bouncing off ideas, and we'll get back to Eddie right here in a second because I have a question for you for that. But yeah.
No, he's a fantastic guy. And whenever the Classen job opened up, I was already about to start with Edmond North with the freshman team again. And then he called me and he's like, hey, I have something for you if you're interested, because I think you're ready for that. And I was like, oh, what is it? And I was like, would you be interested in a head coach position for Classen SAS? They are 4A. It's a school that is kind of needing a change, needing a new culture.
It's a great school, too.
You know, great. Yeah, he said it. That's one thing. Great school. Like, it's a good community there. Like, everybody, it's they're
gonna support you. Yeah. There's gonna be school spirit. They're all about it.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, of course. Like, I even told him, like, you got me whenever you said head coach varsity. You didn't even need to say anything else. Anything else, I would have make it work. But you know. And then I went for the job interview, and I even told her, like, I was a little bit nervous because, like, he just put my name there. Like, that's what it sounded like. But whenever I went for the interview with the AD for the school, it was just a meet and greet.
Yeah, it was basically like this guy's from Brazil. Sure, we'll give him the job. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was was because what I did with whenever I was at Putnam. Putnam, like, it was whenever COVID hit it. So it was like 19 to 2020 that whenever it hit the COVID. And I was very sad because I had a very, very good team with that Putnam freshman. And I think that we could have done some good things. And ended up, like, you know.
It was terrible for the. You talk about how sad it was for the freshmen. I think about all the seniors that didn't even get to finish.
Yeah.
So
being hard to find schools or something like that. Yeah. It was very, very, very tough, like, a semester because whenever it came back August, I think, like, was already better with like the regulations and everything. But the job that I did there, he was very happy about it. So I think that's what kind of, whenever the job opened up, he was like, oh, I know somebody, you know. And I was happy about it that he chose me over, like, a bunch of coaches out there that should be, let's say, more qualified than me to be there. But no, he called me and he chose me, you know. So I think that was, you know, very, I felt very good about it, you know.
Oh, yeah. What's different going into year 2 than year 1?
I think year 1 was more getting to know each other and, like, expectations, because I don't know how the Peterson and, like, did it before, but, like, they lost some pretty bad games like the year before. And whenever I came in, I said, like, look, I'm not here to fool around. I'm not here. This is not a social club. This is soccer. This is varsity soccer. That my name is out there, the name of the school is out there, and your name is out there. Would you like to? I even told them, would you guys like to be part of a program that lose 8-0 every single game, that lose 4-0?
No, coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, look, I'm here to win, and we're gonna win. I'm gonna make you guys compete. I'm gonna make you guys have the feeling that you guys can compete, that you are able to do it. That whenever you are out there on the field, you are capable of doing things. You know. And I told them, like, look, it's a simple exchange here. You give me work, you give me sweat, I'll give you success. And success came in so many different ways. It's not just winning the state, making playoffs. It's also get to the end of the season, think about the player that you were and the player that you are right now. If you are better, we succeed. You know, and that's what I wanted for them. And it was a fantastic year. Like she can even tell about it, like how much the boys developed from the first game to the last game. You know, one of the things that kind of make me happy was against Woodward. Against Woodward the year before, I think they lost 7-0, 8-0, and then came to play Woodward at Taft, and then we won 1-0. But it was a 1-0 that could be more, man. We dominated that game. They had anything on us, and then after the game, I could have seen the eyes of the kids like, oh my God, like we did it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like man, we played so good. Like I could have heard them talk to each other, and like I was like, yes. Like,
And you're just like, duh.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Yeah. No, it was in the back of my head was a little bit of that because I know how much they were working, how much they were working for that moment, and like seeing the happiness in their face about that victory, that because it was a well fought match too, was just like was very like, you know, like it felt good.
When I went to high school, we also played against Woodward, and I think I broke my collarbone against Woodward. Yeah. Just a give and go, broke it. But yeah, that's amazing to hear, dude. And hearing you like try to motivate them kind of motivates me. You do a good job, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
For having not known English a couple years ago, and now you're over here inspiring little kids. So that's awesome, dude.
I appreciate it.
Man, we were talking about the athletic director who gave you the job.
Eddie Wright, yeah.
Eddie Wright, he's working on trying to get futsal implemented into these middle schools and elementary schools because they all have futsal courts, as you can see. And we were kind of talking, I talked to him for like 3 or 4 minutes, and we were kind of just bouncing off ideas. We switched numbers. But one of the questions that we kept coming to, and I'm curious to see what you would say, is back to how do we get futsal to kick off for these middle school, elementary school programs? Because like you said, in Brazil, they don't play outdoor until they hit 11. So it's all futsal. And you know the benefits of futsal, close touch. You're better in smaller spaces. You think quicker so that when you get to the bigger field, everything is just slower, bigger, more space. But if we were to ask you that question, how would you go about implementing futsal and introducing that to the elementary school kids in a way to inspire them and make them want to play more? Like how would you go about that?
I think because Eddie talked to me about it, about those futsal tournaments for me to get in contact with the middle coach, the
middle school coach, your feeder school.
Yeah, you know. And he was even saying like, yeah, because we are thinking about, you know, for the referees, we use the high school kids, you know, because like it's also a way for, there is a 8th grader, 7th grader, like that is about to go to high school.
And he looks at that kid and he goes, wow, that could be me.
Yeah, you know, like, you play for Classen, yeah, the high school, like, I'm going there next year. Like, how is it about it? You know, and kind of having like the kid there, like talking about, that's what
building
the program
relationships.
Is, you know, that build the relationship and the expectations, like, you know, also it helps for the kids to come prepared. You know, it's that kind of thing that whenever you start getting to the senior year of a high school to go to college, you start visiting schools, you know, you go for visits, this and that, and also you're going to have the expectation of the school that you're going, you know. So having that would be amazing. And I think like it's very important. I think we should start local. Of course, making, like, say, maybe start with tournaments, weekend tournaments, see how that goes, and then after that, maybe make a league, make like a middle school season, you know, like games every Wednesday, you know, like you play one game there, one game in the like home and away, and then a little playoffs, because those kids they already play club like that. So if you do a middle school like that, but just a little bit less load because since they're already having too much going on.
Like more fun, a little bit more free, kind of.
Exactly.
Like an introduction
exactly.
to futsal.
Yeah, a little introduction. I think that'll be something that can work out definitely.
I had mentioned to him because we wanted to start something similar to that where we kind of went to every school and for like during the PE we did, all right, look, here's the football factory. They're here to show us what futsal is. And we're just like, yeah, look, this is futsal. Let's play. And that's our way of showing futsal to everybody. So going to each school, maybe for 2 hours, showing them futsal, and then getting that futsal league started. But I think these are all just really good problems to have because soccer's only going up in Oklahoma City. So what do you think?
I think like if they can implement because they have soccer as in the middle school team. So I think one thing that they could do too, since a lot of kids play already club, they could, instead of making those the outdoor, make the futsal league. You know, because the kids are already playing club and everything. Like, so with the middle school, they could focus like, oh, instead of we making outdoor. Let's make futsal, you know, and then whenever they get to high school, now
they can play outdoor.
Yeah, go back to the outdoor.
That's a good idea.
You know, because one way or another, the kids, they will be playing outdoor. You know, like
nothing is gonna change there. They're gonna play outdoor.
Yeah, because you don't have futsal clubs here. You know,
we don't.
Yeah,
we have a few.
Yeah,
there's one or two.
Yeah, there's one or two, but they go play out of state because there's no
competition.
There's no competition here to play, you know. So if they start making the middle schools being that futsal
teams, clubs, competition,
maybe start being like, maybe just an example, maybe Energy's like, you know what? Let's make a little side futsal team here, you know, for each age. Like we start with one team per age. Let's see how that turns out. Because one thing that we do in Brazil is the players that are playing for let's say the first team of São Paulo, they are playing also for the first team of futsal there. So the first team for Corinthians, they are also playing for first team futsal there, you know. So if Energy would start something like that with like more competition around, there could be like those players that are playing ECNL like with them. Look, Tuesdays and Thursdays it's at ESC, Wednesday and Friday go to Score OKC for us to practice futsal. Because we're going to have the game on Sunday at futsal, you know, something like that, putting like everything together, and especially being the same kids that play outdoor to play futsal. That's going to be amazing, like chemistry-wise, and like you said, touches, small space, you know, like whenever it transfers to the big, to the actual 11 versus 11, it's going to be like so easy, you know, because another thing that futsal brings, it's you have to adapt. Because it's a 4 versus 4 here, that you lost the ball, it's a 4 versus 3.
Yeah, get back in shape.
Yeah, you know, like you need to find it's like what I was saying, like, if the person is attacking you, you have your teammate on this side, so let's force him.
Push him that way.
Yeah, you know, like that kind of thing, to adapt, you know, like I think like it's so good, like
it's quick thinking.
Yeah, like
I love it.
Yeah, that's what was so fun about it, you know, like that, just the quick thinking, like how can you get out of the situation, or how can you help in the situation, you know. It's just, I think futsal is very, very good for the development, you know.
I agree. Well, that's good. It sounds like more organization, and then just need to play more futsal is what we need to do. Yeah. Okay. Do you remember the first time you rolled into Western?
Yes, was
how was it? Who invited you to play?
So I played with Ignacio Barbosa, Nacho. We played against each other in junior college, and then we ended up being at OC together. And it was my junior year OC, my first year there.
You guys ended up going to OC together?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was 2017, and then after we did our season, and then we ended up not making playoffs. And then he came to me and he was like, hey, like, do you play Sunday League in Brazil? I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, I play. Love it. I was like, I love to play.
Of course.
And he was like, and he was like, hey, do you want to come play this Mexican Sunday League? He was like, yeah, the fields, they're not very good, but, like, you know, it's fun. It's competitive. I was like, do you think I care about the field, man? Like, if you haven't seen, like, what I play in Brazil, like, Western, it's like Camp Nou, man.
Yeah, I hate people that complain about the fields.
Yeah.
Oh, the fields are terrible. I'm like, but we all play on the same field. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, you know. And they were in the was like I think one game to finish the regular season. When I played, I was injured at the time.
What
so
team?
For Hidalgos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been playing always with the same team.
Okay.
You know, and played that game. Played pretty good. You know, like playing with them because also my ankle was like killing me. And then we went to the quarterfinals, won the quarterfinals, and then we lost in the semifinals to Pumas at the time. And then after that, since like it was coming spring, that there's no season, and then summer, they were like, hey, like we want him back, like talking to Nacho,
bring him back,
bring him back, and I was like, yeah, I want to be back too, like this is just fun, this is nice, you know, because it's not just the game itself, it's like that little hangout afterwards,
culture,
you know, like you know, we play. Oh, we don't play. Oh, let's grab a couple beers now and watch the next game. Because like one of our friends is playing too, and then let's watch the other game. You know, and also that reminds me a lot of Brazil, the way that the Sunday leagues are in Brazil. You know, so it's kind of like a little homesick that I don't feel anymore when I'm there. You know, it's kind of everything else don't matter anymore. Like I'm just like in a peace place. Yeah, you know, I'm just at home now. You know, so yeah. And I remember I went first and I was just looking, wow, like
you going down the dirt road and then you get there and then it opens up and you're just like, holy crap, what is this?
Yeah, but was very exciting. Like whenever I got there, because I was just like, I would have never thought that Oklahoma, when United States would have this Sunday league, like this Sunday league, you know. Because it's great. I tell my dad, like, because my dad he's a big lover of like Sunday league, you know, like those Sunday leagues, you know. And I tell him, like, man, whenever you come here visit me, I'm gonna take you there, and you're gonna feel like nostalgic from Brazil, you know, like it's just how it is. And it's funny because you can even ask her, like, whenever we call my parents, my dad always goes like, so. Did you play Sunday? How was it? You know, he always asked me about it, Western. Like, he asked more about Western than whenever I was in college. Exactly.
That's
like,
fun.
It's crazy.
Have your parents come by to visit yet?
They came in 2017 for my brother's wedding. Yeah, and then that was the last time. And they're gonna come next year for our wedding.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Stressful planning weddings, man.
Yes.
Patience and communication, bro. That's it. That's all I got to say, because weddings are stressful. Mine was 6 years ago and I'm getting flashbacks. But you guys got this. Congratulations too.
Thank you very much.
I was doing my research. I was like trying to figure out what's Matheus about. And I saw the proposal and I was like, oh, that's so cute. So yeah, congratulations, dude. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And then you took her to Brazil too, right?
Yeah, this past winter we went there for 21 days.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was good because she knew my parents just through FaceTime, you know. So it was nice to take her to where I grew up, where like my friends, my family, and we also had a chance to go a little bit to Rio.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a little nice.
I want to go to Brazil. How was Brazil? You want to tell me how Brazil was? I'll turn on your mic real quick. I think it's on. Yeah, I think so.
Brazil was really cool.
Hold on, I don't think it's on. In front of it, there's a little switch. You see? No, on the top, right there. You flip it up. Yeah. Okay.
Is it working?
Oh,
can
beautiful.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
How was Brazil? I want to go to Brazil one day.
Brazil was really cool, actually. I had a previous experience in South America. I had gone by myself on a solo backpacking trip for 8 months in 2019. So I kind of had the experience of being overseas by myself. But Brazil was really nice. It was really nice to meet his parents, and honestly, being surrounded by a language that I had never heard before like that was very overwhelming. But having some experience with Spanish definitely helps. So.
And I feel like going to Brazil it's just, I don't know. I only know this from the time I spent with Rafa and Bonelli, but they're all just very like, yes, like come in, hugs, kisses.
Very welcoming, yeah.
How was it? Like just...
Oh yeah, well, so when we landed in the airport in Sao Paulo when we got there, it was kind of funny because his mom and dad were standing like outside when you like after you collect your baggage and everything waiting for us. And so we walk up to his we were like kind of behind his dad, and his dad like has his camera out sideways. He like has the video on. He's like waiting for Matheus to like come through, like, you know, videograph this huge deal of him coming back home, and and he didn't even realize that we had come through the through the gate. Yeah. And so we're just kind of standing next to him. Matheus like crosses his arms. He's just kind of looking at it. He makes a comment, kind of nudges his dad, and his dad is like, yeah. Oh my God.
That's funny. That's so
but
funny.
It was big hugs, warm smiles, very happy to see his son and to meet me. So.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. How do you guys even plan a Brazilian American wedding? Like, how does that go? I'm sorry if you guys don't want to touch on this. I completely 100%. I'm just curious.
We don't mind at all. I think so. Our plan was let's get married here next year, because also like with the immigration status, all the kind of thing, like we have time to figure it out. And 1 year after that, so 2024, that's when we plan to do the Brazil one in Brazil.
Dang.
So like we're putting 1 year apart, so some of my close family can come here, but also we're planning to make one in 2024 there for my friends that
of course.
you know,
people that were there
and people that weren't able to come as well for this.
That's awesome that you guys are considerate of those people.
You know, so that's gonna be nice. You know, I think.
And you're gonna take your family to Brazil too, then?
Oh, of course.
That's amazing.
Well. And that's the catch. It's like, oh, look, you can come to one wedding in the U.S., but hey, by the way, we're having a second one, and it doesn't take much convincing to be like, hey, you want to come to Brazil?
Yeah.
Are you giving me an excuse to go to Brazil?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then, that's cool. That's all. At what point did you know you were gonna stay here? Like, I know I asked this to all the foreigners. It's just like, there comes a point in time where they're just like, I can't wait to go back. I'm just gonna get my degree, go back, use it over there. But something happens and something makes them want to stay.
For me, it was so I was with the mentality like, I'm gonna finish here, go back, finish here and go back. But whenever after my junior year, the first semester of the junior year, I was very, very homesick. Whenever I got to OC, I was very, very homesick. I even started seeing counseling because it was even affecting me on the field. That I couldn't focus, practice, like I wouldn't have that motivation anymore. But then after seeing counseling, like he kind of enjoying more the city, you know, like he kind of, let's go downtown, man. Like, let's see what's happening here. Let's go here. Let's go bowling.
It's kind of like you're already here. Just enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And until then, I was still like, but I'm enjoying more. I'm happy, but I'm still going back. But then whenever I got to my senior year, I kind of started feeling home. That's what it was. That's when the Sunday league was just like something that I had to do on the weekends. Start making more friends, more people like to hang out, more this and that. And so, and I started like having my own life, you know. I graduated and then start paying rent, start working, got my own car, and like a couple other things that, you know, started growing up with, and then that kind of made me feel good about myself. So I was like, I'm succeeding here. Like, why I'm gonna, you know, I love Brazil, but Brazil is a place to spend vacation. It's not to live there, you know. That's what Bampa said. Yeah. Why I'm gonna leave a country that it's full of opportunities, is that I'm succeeding to go back? It would be like going backwards if I were to go back to Brazil. That's kind of and then kind of the logic, it kind of started like getting more over my heart, you know. Like it was just like, hey man, just think about it a little bit. Why would you go back to Brazil? You know, you can always go back. Yeah, you can always go back for like to spend a little month or something, because my family is there. So the housing part, like paying hotel, like I'm not gonna ever worry about that. Like I can stay with my family, and then we save that money that was going to the hotel. Oh, let's go have some fun in Brazil. You know, that's true. So, you know, and then coming. And then, like, it was just that thing was like, why would I leave something good to go to something worse? You know, it was just that thing, you know, that kind of clicked me. And the more I stay here, the more and more I see, and the more I see that I made the right decision. Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's always a decision that you can go back to, too. That's good, too.
Yeah, that's another thing, too, because we also have, like, some plans that, it's not just even like staying here in the U.S. It's also we plan to maybe go to Europe.
Yeah. What's your name?
I'm Caitlin.
Caitlin, nice to meet you, Caitlin. Yeah, because she said she went backpacking, so she doesn't seem like the type that's going to be like, no. She seems like the type that's just ready to go on an adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Caitlin?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Caitlin.
Nice to meet you.
How did you meet Matheus?
We met through a mutual friend.
Really?
So
That's how I met my wife, too.
I work at Hideaway Pizza in
Cool.
Edmond, and so I worked with a girl who was also friends with him through OC, and I had just come back from South America, and I was talking about how, I don't have anybody here to practice Spanish with, and so she was like, oh, I know some guys, particularly one guy who speaks Spanish. I'll just invite him over and we can hang out. And she didn't realize that Portuguese and Spanish are two different languages, but it was, so we hung out for the first time at her house, and
the rest is history.
the rest is history. Yeah.
Nice.
Started going to watch some Sunday league games.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one thing I had never. I have grown up in a family who is predominantly football and basketball, and I had never really experienced the world of soccer. I mean, I do have a younger brother who's into sports and he plays soccer, but it was never as in depth as it is now.
It's a good way to put it, in depth.
Yeah, sitting in the stands and usually being the loudest, scream.
Really?
Supporting him
she goes
and
hard.
just
That's good.
just kind of watching him grow. It's been really cool.
Awesome.
He's come pretty far. So.
I'm sorry that it turned into this, Matheus.
Nah,
that's why I put the mic there. Never know. Sometimes you need that.
Just in case.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you guys.
Appreciate it.
It's gonna be a big party, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the one in Brazil. I've been telling her, I was like, you don't know how to party yet. I was like, you don't know how to party yet.
How do you handle taking her there? And then have you thought of how it would be in the future when you guys come with the family to take them back? Because I'm dealing with that now. Hopefully in July I get to take my wife where my parents are from, and where my kids are where I'm from, where my parents are from. And I'm always battling that, like, what if they don't like it how I like it? Or what if what if it seems boring to them? Or sometimes there are boring moments, but it's just like having to deal with like that difference. Like, hold on, let me push this button and I'll let you answer. How was that? Were you nervous when you took her to Brazil?
A little bit. No, but not. I think I was just more anxious because I wanted her to go there because she went to all over South America.
Yeah, where did you
didn't go to Brazil. I was like, you didn't go to
missed
Brazil.
the best part.
You missed the best one. Like,
It's also like the most expensive. So.
She left something to go back to. That's what I always like to say. If I didn't go see it, I left it to go back there later.
Yeah, it was meant to. She probably knew. But was more like being a little anxious, like because I wanted her to see where I grew up, see my family in their habitat, like where they live, because talking through the phone, it's one thing, like being there, like you waking up, let's have some breakfast together, let's have lunch together, let's go do a little touristic things, let's go to a museum, let's go to this, let's go, so I wanted her to experience that and like see where I'm from, like my roots. Right?
Not only that, she learns a little bit more about you, so maybe she sees something and she goes, that's why he does that. Or, he gets that from them. Okay.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah. But in relation with whenever we do have kids, it's, I told her, like, I plan to, at some point we need to go to Brazil to, at least to live a little bit there. Because one of the things that I believe that made me succeed here, that made me like be the person that I am here, it's the way that I grew up in Brazil, seeing that things are not gonna come that easy, as it comes here, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a good country. It's a good country overall. It's full of opportunities, and in Brazil it's not as much, So me living in Brazil, growing up in Brazil, and seeing that whole corruption above and beyond, because I know there's corruption everywhere, but in Brazil it's it's getting worse and worse,
But I think what you're trying to say is perspective,
yes, have different perspective of life, let's go there for a little bit so you see how it is, and then whenever you come here you're gonna
appreciate it a little bit more. It'll make you work a little bit harder. I 100% agree, because that's how I felt when I would go back to Mexico, where my parents are from. I would always go and I'd look and I'd see and I'd think, that could just as easily have been me. If my dad didn't decide to come up here and bust his ass and do what he had to do, go back, take my mom, I could have just as easily stayed in Mexico. And that could have been me. But I get that perspective. I bring it back here. I'm humbled. I come back wanting to work harder. I appreciate everything a little bit more. So I think you're spot on with that. Going back there to live, to see that not everybody has it as good as we do, unfortunately. Not everybody has a meal at the table every day. Not everybody has shoes. Not everybody has a roof over their head. You know, not everybody has the luxury of changing clothes every day, underwear every day. You know, it's just, those are luxuries that if you don't get that perspective, seem normal to us.
Exactly.
So we don't have that hunger. So I agree.
And also, they are happy about it.
Yeah, that's what I was
They
gonna
don't
say,
have the shoes, they don't have the underwear, they don't have anything. They probably drink water that the rain left on the street. You know,
take a shower, it's raining, let's go.
But man, you see them laughing about life, walking like you know, like
it's like you don't know what you don't have if you don't know what's out there.
Exactly.
So to them, that's
for them they're happy. They're breathing. They're seeing the sun. They see like people around them. Like you know, they have, like they. And that's what I want them to see. It that like look how little they have and how happy they are. Do you really think that cell phone is gonna make you happy? Do you really think that brand clothes are gonna make you that happy? You know, like I because I grow up rich enough to have everything that I need, but poor enough to not have everything that I wanted. And I think that was the best thing for me, you know, because I always hang out with people that didn't even have those things, you know, because playing in those kind of neighborhood things, like I played with guys that they would basically live in my house because my parents and we knew that, he doesn't have that much at home. Like, you know, we would finish practice. I always go to some of those places like, hey, want to come to my house, have some lunch there, spend the afternoon, and then we drop you off a little bit later. And the kids would be like, oh, yeah, nice, let's go. And then, you know, and my best friends, they're kind of like from some rough spots, you know, and like I'm happy that I'm part of their lives in some way that we kind of made them feel home and have another perspective, you know, like having like what is actually having a meal every day, you know, and like making them like, you know, kind of feel like humans, you know, because I know that some things happen because it's our mistakes, but some things happen because
they just happen. Got
bad luck, like that's basically what it is, you know, like because sometimes it's not the kid's fault that the dad's beating up his mother, you know, it's not his fault that the dad is alcoholic, his dad doesn't work, that, you know, like it's not their fault. So having like somebody, another family to, you know, show something nice to them, like kind of spoil a little bit, you know, like that.
I think on top of that too, one thing that I really that really stood out to me with his parents specifically is they're not poor, but they're not rich either. They're you know, probably in the middle, but it's like money was never really like a huge concern as far as I want to give you this, I want you to experience this. It was never an issue of, oh, you know, we can't do that because it's going to be too expensive, or you know, I don't want to do this because, you know, for whatever reason. It was always very much this mentality of, you are here, we want you to experience this. We're going to give you as much as we can for as long as we can, and we're going to enjoy doing it. You know, there's never a limit to what we can or can't do. And I think that was something that really stood out to me about being in Brazil, was always that, and even like his parents' friends that I had met were always very welcoming. I remember one of the Chris, she did my nails, and she would, every time I walk in, oh, you want a coffee? You want a tea? You want some cookies? Oh, can I get you anything else? Do you need anything else? And it's always just a very friendly, very inviting, we're so glad you're here type of atmosphere. So
it's warm. Yeah, it makes you feel like they want you there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like we are doing a favor to them for being there, like basically, and they're like, you know, like, oh my God, like thank you so much for being here.
Because you guys bring joy. Like you guys are filling other people's cups, and you know, and like you had said, we might not have a lot, but to be able to give the little that you have means so much more.
Deal, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
crazy. And then the trip, here's the trip, man, because I feel you 100%. It's like, we might not have a lot, but when you have your kids and try not to spoil them is going to be hard as hell. Because
Yes.
I always look at and I've done a terrible job. My kids are spoiled rotten, and I'm paying for it now, and they're only 4 and 3. Like, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
But it's like when I went to the store and I wanted a bag of chips, which were 99 cents now, but now they're $2.50. And my parents would be like, oh, we don't have it. We didn't have it. And I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But now when my kid wants a $2.50 bag, I'm just like, it's $2.50.
Yeah,
I can
no,
get you to it. You want that little chocolate egg that comes with a toy in it?
Yeah.
Go for it, take it. And then all that stuff starts compiling. And now every time we pass Raising Cane's, my son wants chicken. Every time we pass by the comic book store, he wants to stop. So I'm hoping that when we go to Mexico, I can have those conversations of being like, you see how happy that kid is?
Yeah.
You see the clothes that he's wearing? Do you see those little things?
Yeah.
Perspective is what I'm going to try to drive to them.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
you guys have a good task ahead of you guys. So.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, in talking about perspective, it was like I was telling you about my mom and my sister, and that's one thing that I'm very proud of myself of, like this. I feel this is a quality, of course. I'm a very fair person, you know, and she knows. Sometimes she get mad at me because she did something, not, let's say, completely wrong, but something that was kind of, you know, opinions, you know?
Yeah.
And then I go against her, and she goes like, and then we argue a little bit, and then she goes later, okay, I know you're right, but why don't you support me? Just support me.
Hey, it's very rare. It's very rare.
I 100% agree with you in those conversations.
It's like Guardiola said once, I prefer to lose my ways than win playing other ways.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer to be like to have a discussion with her, but defending my standards, my perspective, that what I think it's right, then like just like compromising and like just agreeing with you. I'm not gonna do that because like there is no like we talked about.
You have to be true to yourself.
Exactly. And also that thing like that I told you, there is no growth being comfortable. Sometimes you need to be uncomfortable. So
That's
those little talks is gonna make us uncomfortable, but it's
gonna help you guys be stronger together.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm definitely 100% learning those. What I'm learning right now is picking my battles. Like learning when to be like, hey, babe, you're wrong, and learning when to be like, I'm just going to let her have this one. Yeah. Because
sometimes
our opinions aren't needed at that time.
Exactly.
But that's just part of the game. And then wait until you throw a kid in there, and she's going to want to raise them their way and your way. And then you guys have to work that out and be like, find the middle ground, because there is no explaining. When I had it's crazy, this is a soccer podcast, but look at where we're at now.
Exactly.
Whenever I had my kid, I noticed as an infant, when he was an infant, I would speak to him in Spanish and then sometimes in English. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I using some words and phrases in Spanish and some words and phrases in English? When you have your kid, I'm asking you now, like, are you going to speak to him in English or in Portuguese?
Portuguese.
You say that. But then when he gets here and you use some words in English and then some in Portuguese, you're going to be like, what the heck? So then I ended up realizing that I was using the language that my parents used with me. So my parents didn't speak any English at first. Yeah. And then after I learned that, it's a trip. You start unpacking all this stuff going on in your head. So I'm looking forward to like watching you guys grow up as parents, and it's going to be fun. You guys are going to club it.
I'm excited too. I think that I study speech pathology. So it's essentially it's if a person has a stroke, they really have to relearn how to speak. But another big thing that we focus on is the importance of learning more than one language. And especially, it's such a huge deal now, especially in the world that we live in today. You have these people they only speak English. You have these jobs who need translators. They need somebody to be bilingual, and there's no one to fill these positions. Or it's the opposite way. You have this person who only speaks Spanish. They don't know any English. You're stuck. And I think that it's something this is getting too far, but I think that I think it's a big deal to if you have the opportunity to present multiple languages. I think that you should. I think it's important to do it to raise your kids to understand that, hey, America is not the only country, but even being here in this country, we're seeing these people come in who speak all kinds of different languages, and there's just not I think that we need to focus more on the importance of learning more than English or more than one language.
I concur. I hope you don't mind that I just,
It's okay.
but yeah, dude. So I guess Portuguese, English, maybe Spanish.
Hopefully, yeah.
No, definitely Spanish too, because like she was saying, like we're living here, like it's America, but man, a lot of Spanish going on here.
Yeah.
Like I think even for me, like in my line of work, like I see a lot of Hispanic kids, Mexican kids. So like sometimes, they understand English, they understand everything I'm saying, but like would it be nice once in a while I go and say like something in Spanish with them, and give a instruction in Spanish to them that they're gonna be like.
You might even start teaching, teach them some Portuguese, like give them some Spanish, some Portuguese words that, they can use on the field and whatnot too. So that's awesome. Yeah. What's next for you? Like, do you have any goals for your soccer, your coaching? Like, where do you see yourselves, you in that area?
So, recently I just got the D license for the US soccer, and I plan to get the C license, B, and getting all the way to the professional. And not just here, like I plan to, after we get married, like we kind of organize our lives a little bit more and spend a little bit of time in Brazil, do the soccer license in Brazil, maybe spend a little bit of time in Europe, do the licensing, whatever. Because my family, we have Italian citizenship. So
that's why you have the Italian flag next to your Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering.
So soon enough, like I'm gonna be able to go to Italy just like that, and so that's gonna be a good thing because I can go there, live in Europe, and work like without any problem, without needing a visa or any documentation. And then she's being my wife, that it's easy for her to just be with me. So. As a coaching career, like I plan to, get as much learning as I can, get as much as experience that I can, and of course, at some point, reach professional level. That's my
coach professional level?
My end goal. It's Champions League, big picture. Like that's what I'm aiming for. They say that the higher you aim, like at least you're gonna get close enough. If you don't get there, So,
I love that saying. You aim. What is it? Aim for the moon. Land in the stars?
I think, exactly. So might as well. I can get to the moon, but if I don't get it, at least I'm in the stars, So
that's crazy.
Like, that's what I'm aiming for. And, and for now, just trying to learn as much as I can, the same way that I'm teaching these kids a lot, they are teaching me a lot too, So I'm very grateful for life to have what I have right now. It's just been an amazing ride so far. I can't complain.
No, and it's going to get even better. Yeah. That's good, dude. This is a great podcast. We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. Wow. Dude, I learned a lot about you, and I'm looking forward to following you guys with that. My last question. I always, with every story and every podcast that I listen to, I always like to pick that one moment or that one person that if it didn't happen, if he wasn't there, your life would be completely different. Like whether it was for Steffi, who I had on a few weeks ago from Paraguay, she had a teacher who showed her English that went to SWASU. And that's how she ended up at SWASU. For you, I think it might be your brother.
Yes.
If it wasn't for your brother who went to go play in Tulsa, you wouldn't have thought of even coming to the U.S., ended up in Tulsa, played at Eastern, went to OC, met your wife, and now everything else is planning. Do you think I'm correct? Do you think that's your brother? Or would you give that to someone else?
I would say that I have 3 people.
Okay.
It's kind of 3.5. Because my dad, of course, he helped me a lot with soccer and taking me everywhere, he kind of being my chauffeur. Because by the time I started playing, he was already retired. So I was his job, basically.
Dang, that's awesome.
So that I was very fortunate to that because even practice, he was there watching. Wasn't just games. Practice, he was there. Games, everything that related to sports. But I think my mom, just being the other side of the coin, because my dad was the sports. My mom was like, "Hey, you need to get your things together with study too. It's not just soccer. At some point, it ends. Even if you become professional, at some point it's gonna end. And my brother, of course, came in here, and I would extend to my other 2 sisters as well. They are being great examples of life for me. And the third person which is the guy that helped me a lot with coaching. That's what he put me through coaching. And like, I think I tell people that the reason that I'm here in the United States, it's because of my family, my brother and my parents. But the reason that I'm coaching right now, it's because of Kale Octo. You'll probably know him.
Yeah.
He is being a fantastic guy, a fantastic mentor, you know, like he put me with the NOKC Academy first, and then he ended up helping me making a transition to the energy, to the OEFC. So I'm very grateful to him too, because if he wasn't there, that nothing right now would happen. Because whenever we first met, like it was in 2018, we played together during the summer, like just for a little bit.
Was that the Imps?
No, was with the Energy. Whenever Energy used to have the under
U23.
Yeah. So I practiced with them a little bit. I ended up not playing games, but I practiced for a month. So it kind of built up a little bit of relationship there. And then we didn't see each other for a while.
We ran into Mount Western.
Yeah, and then we saw each other at the final too, because I played then in the final against Roma, and then after that, like, because we won pretty good that game.
That game was crazy. I recorded that game, and that game that might be the best game I've ever recorded.
Yeah,
because it started off hot and then it ended up even hotter.
Exactly, it was a very exciting game, very exciting game, and I think from that day, like, I got stuck in his head, like, you know, and then we start playing indoor together during the weeks after that. And one day, just staying, having beers, talking to everybody, you know, he came to me, he's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I remember you, right? You're like, we start talking. And then he asked me, like, yo, so what are you doing? What's your plans? Like, what do you want, like, in life and everything? And at that moment, I just finished working at Vaza Fitness. And that's when, like, COVID was about, just hit it. Like, you know, was kind of towards 2021 beginning. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I was doing personal training for Vaza Fitness, and now I think I'm going to focus more towards coaching soccer, you know, because that's what I know. You know, like,
I don't know anything best. I feel you 1,000%.
You know, like that's what I'm good at. It might as well stick it to.
I'm not better at anything else than soccer.
Yeah, no, you know, might
that's
as
why
well.
I'm doing this too. So I feel you, bro. I can't play, but I can talk about it.
Yeah, you know, and then he came to me like, oh, for real, so. Coaching is a career. He's like, no, yeah, 100%. I was like, okay, I might have something for you. And then the rest is history.
And that's a good person to be following, because if there's anybody that's had a good coaching year, Kel has had an amazing year. Exactly. I've been trying to get Kel on the podcast, but he's a little bit hard to find. There's some people that don't mind talking about it, and I think there's some people that just would rather kind of stay underground with it. And I think he's one of those that just, and that's perfectly fine too. I respect that. But he's killing it.
Yes, and I couldn't ask for a better guy to be my mentor, you know, like he helped me through. Like I spent like a full year just shadowing him. Like
who?
Carl.
Oh, you shadowed him as well? Okay.
Yeah, just shadow. Like, because I was his assistant coach, basically, because I was helping him with the ECNL boys, with the little girls, and then with some older kids, you know. So was very good to see him, how he does it, you know, how he does the practice, how he acts, how he, you know, how he deals with the kids, like how he deals with parents, how he deals with the managers of the team, like, you know, like was just like, it was a soccer school with Cal as the professor, you know, and that was
Cal's from England too, so there's just cultural differences from
you know,
Brazilian and English coaching.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it was, but I'm very grateful to him. He's a very special person in my life.
Nice. Well, shout out to Kel, and
definitely.
Shout out to you, man, and shout out to you as well. I'm excited. I guess we can put a button on it. I feel like we can go for another hour, maybe.
Honestly,
who knows? I have a lot of questions,
so.
But it's an hour and 46 right now. It's I don't know what time it is here. 11:43. I clock in at 12, so I'm gonna have to wrap up pretty quick. But dude, this has been amazing. I thank you for coming on. Do you have anything else that you want to say before we close out?
I don't think so. I think like you said, like we went to soccer to life,
marriage, coaching.
Yeah, I think that was very good, and thanks for having me, man. Like
of course.
Like I said, like it's a good experience. Like, you know, talk a little bit myself, my experience. You know, it's just, you know, it's very nice, and I like what you're doing for this podcast. Like I watched a couple of the podcasts that you've been doing. Like, I hope you'll keep doing and people keep coming, because
Thank you.
for the soccer community, this is going to be a very, very big deal, you know? Like, the more information that we get from people, the more perspectives that we get from stories, like, it helps grow the soccer community, you know? So, like, very good job on your part, and I appreciate it for having me.
Thank you, man. These are the kind of episodes that make it worthwhile. Because, like I said, I didn't personally know you. I knew of you.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I had no idea. We didn't know each other either. Yeah. But now I can consider you a good friend, and likewise to you. And that's kind of it. Like you said, you can't grow without getting uncomfortable. And it is a little uncomfortable sitting across for somebody that you have no idea. But we speak the same language as soccer, and we have those experiences, and that's kind of what ties us and every other previous guest that we've had. So this is going to be a good one to look back at. And it's... Trust me, this project gets me really excited, but I think what's going to get me more excited is when we all look back at it 10 years from now. Or when you guys look back at it and say, look, that's when we were about to get married and we were talking about all the silly stuff. And so it's going to be something great. And I appreciate you guys for being a part of it too. So
no, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Good luck with the wedding.
Thank you.
Good luck with the plans. I hope to see you guys in Europe and Brazil too. That'd be awesome. Yes. Good luck with Classen SAS this year.
Yes,
your ECNL as well. You're doing speech too, so I wish both of you guys the best of luck in everything that you guys do. So
appreciate it.
For everyone that's been listening, I appreciate you guys for listening to it this far. If you guys have listened to this whole thing, you guys are the true fans. I want to do something where we can do foot golf. I want to take the listeners to play foot golf with me. Have you played foot golf yet?
No, not yet.
It's like golf, but they have big holes like this. Same rules, you just have to kick it in.
Yeah.
So maybe towards the end of October, the end of this month, for whoever's listening, I want to have a day where we can just take the listeners or whoever just wants to go and play foot golf as a group, and maybe we can start something.
Nice.
So I'm going to post it. Maybe you guys can come check it out. We can get a golf cart, a couple beers, and just kick it. It's fun. It is
speaking my language.
Super fun. So yeah, I'll put the dates up there for the listeners. Stay tuned. We'll have more details, but this has been another episode of the Mas Futbol podcast with Matheus. And I forgot your name.
Caitlin.
It's Caitlin. Thank you guys. And thank you to the listeners.
Thank you.
Peace.